I want to thank the Shed Kings for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio here in the Sawmill Theatre complex. Hope you had a great weekend, and if you got out there to the RV&3 softball tournament, well, what a great time. And that went on Saturday and Sunday. I know Saturday home run derby, man, that was a lot of fun. So just want to thank RV&3 for all they do and everyone that supports that wonderful organization as well. Well, today we're going to be talking about another event that is coming up here real soon. That is All Powers Combat APC 25. In the studio to talk about that is the owner and founder of All Powers Combat, Heath Bebout, right? Bebout.
That is right.
There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Heath?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. Over the years, kind of followed, gone to fights, and done some promo videos, know a lot of the fighters, so it's great to have you on here and just to talk about All Powers Combat, the history of All Powers Combat, how you got started, and a little bit about the fighters, and also all of the businesses that support this event and your organization. So first, All Powers Combat 25 taking place this Saturday, June 25th at the Tano Apache Gymnasium. And tickets, you can buy tickets out there at the Tano Apache Rec Center or Gym. That's where they are for sale. And how many fights do you have on this card?
We have 10 fights scheduled. We have about 10 fights right now.
10 fights?
Yep.
Gotcha. And are there going to be some demos like before with some of the kids from Vanquish?
I believe we're going to have maybe one jiu-jitsu grappling match.
Okay.
It'll be adult. I might see if we can get a kids grappling match going, maybe a couple of them. Just kind of depends on how the time goes.
Gotcha. So what time, let's see, doors open at 6 p.m. and fights start at 7 p.m. And again, that is this Saturday. So APC 25, so this is the 25th event that you've put on?
That is correct.
Wow. So take us back. When did you start All Powers Combat?
I started APC back in 2007 with a couple of my friends. One is Wyatt Shepard, who's been up here in Payson doing MMA since the late 90s. Is when we started doing MMA in Payson. And another one of my friends named Josh Rumsey. We were just three best friends, and at the time we were looking for a way to showcase the fighters that we were training up here in Payson. At the time, the gym we were training out of was called Pancration Martial Arts, and that was Wyatt Shepard's first gym up here. And now he's gone on to, he has a huge gym down in Santan called Ethos now.
Wow.
A lot of our guys that we came up with are still here locally in the community. A lot of guys have gone on to do big things in MMA.
No, and then after that, let me see, I know one of those guys, because I was going to his gym for a while, Randee Stanky.
Yeah, Randee the Triangle.
Triangle.
Yeah. He's doing great. He's one of the head coaches, main coaches at the lab down there in Glendale. So if you like UFC and see any fighters from the lab, you're going to see Randee Stanky typically in the corner of any of these fighters. So he's a very busy guy. Usually comes up and refs the events for us, but he's been so busy with being at UFC shows that he hasn't really had the time. So our ref for Saturday is going to be a former UFC fighter. His name's Seth Baczynski. So we'll have Seth up there making sure the guys are safe.
All right. So then after Randee, I think, with Triangle, that closed down. There was a period of time where there wasn't really a MMA gym here in Payson until Michael opened up Vanquish.
Yeah, well, Mike Bonnet had White Mountain BJJ down there at the CrossFit in Star Valley.
Oh, okay.
Raleigh White had it back a few years ago.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And that transition from that location, we we started Vanquish. It's been about going on 3 years now. Vanquish is located right over there by, right next door to Arizona Fitness. And we're just right there by the smoke shop there. And yeah, it's doing great. We have some fighters fighting out of that gym, quite a few for Saturday.
So who are, let's maybe talk about some of the fighters that go to Vanquish, that train at Vanquish, that'll be fighting on Saturday.
Sure, the main event fighter is from Vanquish. His name is Michael Allison. I've trained Michael for going on about 5 years now. The guy has really progressed, and we're excited to see him make his MMA debut. He's going to be fighting a guy named Robert Brown from the Valley.
Okay.
He's one fighter from Payson. We also have Tom Hall, Jonathan Guerrero. We have Ray. We have Colt. We have Justin Keybach. We have quite a few coming out of Payson for this event. We have a girl fighting named Riley Schwambeck, who's pretty new to the fight game, but she's ready to put on a show. So we're excited. It's definitely fight week.
There you go. And again, APC 25 is this Saturday, June 28th at the Tonopatchy Rec Center. Main event, again, Robert Brown versus Michael Allison. Michael Allison, a fighter out of the Vanquish gym right here in Payson. Doors open at 6 p.m. Fight starts at 7 p.m. Again, 10 fights are scheduled as of right now. And something that it has on the poster here, card subject to change, because you never know. You never know what happens as far as weigh-ins, as far as injuries, just things happen. So there's fights that could be taken off the card, but also fights that maybe could be added. You know, a fight put together, you know, to take the place last minute.
Absolutely.
There you go. So sponsors, let's just maybe hit some of the sponsors, because there are some businesses that have, I know, supported you pretty consistently through the years.
Yeah, I took over doing APC. We did our first show in 2007, then we had a hiatus, and then I took over in 2010. Since then, we've had many businesses locally sponsor the event. For this card, we have Vanquish MMA, which we just mentioned, Northern Arizona Drywall, which is Danny Rhoda Jr.'s company. I've known Danny for a long time. I've got stories from when we used to go down with Randee Steinke to Mexico, and we'd go down there and fight in an organization called Full Moon Fighting.
Full Moon.
And I actually started off as an announcer in this game. That's where I kind of got my start, doing the "let's get ready to rumble" kind of stuff. But I more so now like to kind of be behind the scenes, not too much of a spotlight guy. So I just like to take care of everything behind the scenes and make sure everybody has a good time on Saturday.
There you go, because I remember in some of the earlier APC events that you were the one on the mic in the ring.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, I haven't, retired the mic forever. You may see me have to do one in the future, but it's not really my thing anymore.
Gotcha.
I got a guy named Jeff Way, who is the voice of Arizona, and he does an amazing job. And it's good knowing that I have him, because then I don't have to do that part of it, so that's good.
Well, and there's so much that goes into this too. Something we were talking about before the program, it's not like this is your full-time job, but to put an event together requires a lot of work.
Yeah, it can be stressful. I just feel like the majority of the stress comes from you have to depend on people to show up and get in the cage.
Gotcha.
And fighting is scary, and I understand that 100%. But once they agree to do it, they kind of sign their name at that point. But people get cold feet. It's a scary thing. I've had guys that grandmas die the day before the fight. And then the next fight, the grandma died again, and then I'm like,
oh no!
how many grandmas do you have? And then on the 5th time, he showed up and he had all his grandmas with him, so you never really know. The point I'm trying to make is fighting scary, and a lot of times people will try to come up with any reason to get out of it. But Saturday, we got all guys coming to a game, and they're ready to go. So I don't anticipate any of that happening moving forward, so we should be okay.
Gotcha. And yeah, because you have, it's just a wide variety of like different levels. You have some guys that this is their first fight, and maybe they've trained a little bit, maybe they've trained a lot. Like you mentioned, the main event, Michael Allison's been training, like you said, 5 years?
Yeah, he's been training with me for 5 years, and he's very consistent.
So that's someone that, even though this is his first MMA fight, he has a lot of experience. I mean, he's been doing this for a while. But then you have some guys on here that, you know, something came up, they're like, hey, I want to fight this guy. And, you know, they are going to train a little bit, do a little bit, and then get in there Saturday night. So I could see where that's a little more nerve-wracking because you don't have the preparation.
Well, and some people, they just, you got different, like you were saying, we got different types of people. Some people, maybe they just want to get in there and give it a shot, you know, get in that cage, slam the door, and best man wins. Other people, they want to get into bigger shows, and you know, their dreams are to become maybe a UFC fighter, or maybe get into the, you know, bigger organizations like the PFL or the LFA. And we're just kind of we're a really good starter show. You know, I got a lot of gyms that come up from the valley, and a lot of guys will put they're very green and, you know, first-time fighters in APC because it gets them the experience. And then, you know, they'll go on to other organizations from there. But APC is a really good show for getting your feet wet and getting the experience. And that's the whole reason we started this in the first place, was just to showcase fighters and give them the stage to perform, or the cage to perform, and show what they got.
There you go. So if you're just tuning in or just started listening, again, we're talking to Heath Bebout about All Powers and All Powers Combat 25 coming up this Saturday, June 28th at the Tonopatchy Rec Center. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the fights start at 7 p.m. And we have to mention, though, also weigh-ins. Weigh-ins the night before, right?
Yeah, weigh-ins are the day before. They're going to be at Backwoods. Jackie's always taken really good care of us there. And we'll be kicking that off at 6 o'clock. And that's just the way the fighters in. It's a pretty cool event. Come get some hot wings and pizza, maybe some beers. And we get them weighed in and we get them ready for the show on Saturday.
All right, there we go. And is that going to be taking place again out on the patio?
Yeah, it'll be on that south patio there at Backwoods. Nice. And guys start showing up about 4 or 5 o'clock. The official weigh-in is at 6.
Okay. And
then we're usually out of there about 6:30.
Gotcha. So again, that is this Friday, June 27th at Backwoods Bar and Grill, and Backwoods, one of your sponsors as well.
Yeah, and they've been great. You know, I love Backwoods as a restaurant and a place to go and hang out, but they've just always been amazing, and they've always supported APC. You know, Robert, rest in peace, he was a huge supporter when he was you know, when he was here, and you know, Jackie's just continuing that support, so we really appreciate that. We really appreciate our sponsors. You know, they really helped me do a lot and kind of helped me get some of the pre-show stuff taken care of that, you know, sometimes can be, you know, a little stressful. But you know, and you know, talking about sponsors, we also, I spoke about Northern Arizona Drywall and Danny Rhoda Jr. I would also like to speak about Lowry's Glass. Bobby Lowry's another guy that's been sponsoring me forever. We went to high school together. I think he was a senior when I was a freshman. He was cool then, he's cool now, he's always been cool. He's the guy that would like give the freshmen a ride to lunch and stuff. Like, so I've known Bobby for a long time. Great guy, always supporting APC. And you know, lastly, I got to mention the Tonopatchy tribe. I've been doing shows up there, you know, forever. We now have a sanctioning body up there, so all of our fights are sanctioned, and they have been absolutely amazing. And then a lot I mean, I've worked out there a couple different times. Calvin Johnson is a good friend and somebody who's always given me, you know, a chance and the opportunity to do this show. Mm-hmm. And that to me is everything. They're very, very awesome out there, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, the tribe helps and does so much in the community.
They really do.
Very supportive.
They really do.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep, so appreciate everything they do. And then also, obviously, Vanquish, MMA sponsor, and it's great to see how well that gym is doing and the programs, and just from talking to people whose children you know, are enrolled in the classes. They're having a great time. I think Michael, he does really well with kids, adults, just, you know, he's a great trainer.
He's amazing. I've known him since he was just, I think he was 15 when I met him. Mm-hmm. And he was, he's always been the same, determined, just amazing person. I can't say enough about, you know, our core group, which was, you know, Wyatt Shepard, myself, Mike Bonet, Randee Steinke. I could name a bunch of others, but, you know, Mike is an amazing guy. And, you know, the guy's a black belt. He's fought in Brazil. We really have a lot of great MMA coaching up here in Payson, you know, and you mentioned the kids class. I teach kids class on Friday. That's probably the most rewarding thing I've ever been a part of, is just teaching kids jiu-jitsu, because a lot of these kids come in and they're timid and they're scared and they're bullied, whatever the case may be. Yeah, you give us a few weeks and that bullied kid, that picked on kid, that scared, timid kid starts to just transform right in front of you into just tough. They go from being timid and scared to tough and thick skin, and you see it, and it's, I mean, I can't, words don't explain, words do it no justice. It's amazing seeing kids get that confidence.
Confidence, that's the word that I was thinking of.
That's the word I was trying to find, and it's,
it's,
I don't know, it's, like I kind of get, I'm not trying to get choked up, but I'm very passionate about like the kids program and teaching them and seeing them get that confidence. Yeah. Because I don't like bullies, and you know, bullying is something that still obviously happens a lot. So if some of these kids, if I hear that a kid is being bullied, then I'm, you know, we're gonna make sure you can defend yourself.
Yeah, having that strength, that surety, you know, and confidence, in just like who you are, and not being, you know, scared all the time. Worrying about going to school, worrying about going out on the playground, worrying about walking around town or walking home from school, and you know, kids unfortunately that do bully, and that's something that I don't think that ever is going to go away. Unfortunately, that's, you know, part of life. But getting kids into programs, you know, jiu-jitsu or boxing or just any self-defense, is great, because to put those ones that are doing the bullying to, you know, kind of put them in their place. Say, hey, it's not acceptable. It's not good.
Yeah, and you know, usually only takes, you know, one rear naked choke to end some bullying, or whatever the case may be. I just, you know, in jiu-jitsu, MMA is great. I teach jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu for kids is amazing. If they get them into jiu-jitsu early, it'll teach them a lot of life lessons. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, hey man, if you can come in here and do this jiu-jitsu, you put this gi on, sweat, have somebody trying to choke you the whole time, so that's gonna get you ready for real life. And real life, I tell these kids, real life is right around the corner. You guys are gonna have to work and support families of your own, and it's gonna be stressful. If you can do a little jiu-jitsu and force yourself to do something hard, then the hard things that come along are a little bit easier.
So when did you start training in jiu-jitsu, and what got you into it?
We got into it because of the early UFC. So I probably started training in like '97.
Okay.
And that's when like Wyatt and I would just go to like Star Video back in the day, and we would just get the VHS tapes of these UFC fights.
That's like early.
Yeah, those were the early days.
Yeah, that was like the anything goes.
Anything goes. So it was pretty brutal and it was very taboo at the time.
That was the Gracie family.
Yeah,
also.
that was the Gracies and the Ken Shamrocks and the Dan Severns and you know, and you know, we would pick up what we could from those VHS tapes, and we just started training in Green Valley Park. And then from there we went over to Wyatt's dad's glass shop. Ken owned Shepherd's Glass at the time. So we were grappling in this little garage up on Airport. It was probably, we had about maybe 10 feet of mat space. And then Wyatt's dad's windshields were like right by us. So it was just, we had to be pretty careful not to toss anybody into a whole rack of windshields. But very humble beginnings, you know, very humble beginnings.
And that's where, wasn't that in one of those buildings up at the airport is where he opened the first?
Yeah, the first one was up there in part of his dad's glass shop, and then we moved to a different building up there for a while. And then Wyatt moved down to the valley after that, and then Randee kind of, you know, picked up where he left off with Triangle Academy. And then when Randee moved down to the valley, Mike kind of picked up where he left off with White Mountain PJJ, which was turned into Vanquish.
Yeah, so there is quite a history.
There's a little bit of a history.
Yeah.
And we're, we've been in it for a long time.
There you go. So again, All Powers Combat MMA cage fighting this Saturday, June 28th at the Tano-Apache Rec Center. Main event is Robert Brown, and he's coming up from the Valley, taking on Michael Ellison, who is fighting out of the Vanquish MMA gym here in Payson. 10 fights scheduled, and the weigh-ins, if you want to check the weigh-ins out, that is usually a good time as well. That's Friday, the night before, June 27th, at 6 p.m. at Backwoods Bar and Grill, right out on the patio. And that'll be a fun time as well. So you can come out, support the fighters, be part of the weigh-ins, and then check out the fight the following night, Saturday. So yeah, it's always a good time. And how many, boy, the rec center, the gym is usually packed out.
Yeah.
It's full.
Yeah, I think capacity is around 900. I mean, we've had more than 900 people in there before, I want to say, but you know, it gets pretty packed. You know, we pack that gym pretty full. So.
Well, I remember over the years there's been some really good or anticipated fights. You know, main events with either a couple locals kind of going at it, or local fighter and somebody coming down from the White Mountains. As you mentioned again before the program. We have the rivalry still, with our high schools, that 3A East rivalry that, man, it's been like that for a while. So then you have guys that graduate and, they wrestled or played football in high school, and now they're fighting each other, and it's still there. I mean, you never want to lose to somebody from Sholo or...
Well, you can tell Blue Ridge or Sholo, they come get it any time. Yeah. Or Snowflake for that matter. But yeah, the 3A East rivalry still is, it still runs strong even in the MMA, and it's very interesting how that's still, I still let everybody know we beat Blue Ridge in 98-99. Yeah. And destroyed their little 64-0 football record.
There it is. Hey, so are there any fighters coming down from the White Mountains for this Saturday?
Yeah, I have a guy named David Velasco. He's coming from Heber.
Oh, okay.
And then we got a few guys coming from Phoenix. And then I believe I got a few guys coming from Kingman, out of a camp that's up there.
Gotcha. Kingman, man.
Oh, we get them from everywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Coming from Kingman, Arizona, to the fight. And Heber, that's a funny one. Heber. They're like, I don't know, are they accepted, or like did Sholo, that area, kind of claim them, or are they kind of like out there on their own? Because right in between,
Yeah, I feel like Heber is accepted.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not sure about Sholo or Snowflake, but...
Yeah. And they have some strong, over the years, their wrestling program. Oh, man. Football program, small school, but tough kids.
Tough kids up there.
Tough kids.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's just how it is. I mean, Payson, all the way through the White Mountains, that's kind of what the 3A East has been known for throughout the years. Just tough kids, hard-nosed kids, programs, you know.
Something in the water, Chris.
Something, yeah. You get over a certain elevation.
Something's going on up there in Blue Ridge.
Yeah, there you go. So again, hey, All Powers Combat 25 MMA cage fighting this Saturday, June 28th, Tono Apache Rec Center. And 10 fights scheduled, doors open at 6 p.m., fights start at 7 p.m. Again, the sponsors, Vanquish MMA, Northern Arizona Drywall, the Tono Apache Tribe, Lowry's Window and Door, and Backwoods Bar and Grill. I want to thank all of them. Yeah.
And I wanted to, save the best for last.
All right.
The main sponsor and presenter of APC
right.
25 is Mid-State Asphalt,
Mm-hmm.
who is my buddy Taylor Walden, who has fought for APC several times.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really fight too much anymore because he's pretty busy with the asphalt company, but he'll definitely be there to support. He's one of my best friends. He's a good guy. He helps out a lot in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to have him up there, and the whole paving crew is going to come through. I pave asphalt with those guys sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I pave a little bit. My job title is a hydration specialist, typically, which means I'm just the glorified water boy on the paving job. I do shovel from time to time, but most of the time I just get everybody water so they don't get dehydrated and die.
There you go. It reminds me, man, I love that movie, Adam Sandler.
It's such a great
I
movie.
provide high quality H2O products.
H2O. I get Gatorades for the guys too, so
Yeah.
we're not just the water.
There you
We
go.
also do some Gatorades.
Electrolytes.
Just little electrolytes out there.
And yeah, Taylor Walden, just want to recognize his support for the RBN3 softball tournament. He donated all the food for this weekend softball tournament. So, and over the years, oh my goodness, he just is involved in so much. Loves giving back to the community, loves supporting organizations in the community, and does so much of it that, it's just cool to see how he helps out. So thank you, Taylor Walden. Thanks to Mid-State Asphalt for sponsoring as well. And there we go. Get out there. APC 25 this Saturday.
This Saturday, June 28th.
Anything else you want to throw out there? And tickets. You can get your tickets at the Tono Apache Rec Center. And go out there, and they'll have them at the front desk. You can purchase tickets. Also, there's more information on the APC Facebook page, Instagram page, as far as some different seating options and all of that. Yeah, it should be a packed house again, and just a great time. And thank you so much for bringing MMA and keeping MMA up here in Rim Country and Payson.
No, thanks, Chris. And got to thank sponsors too. I love, sponsors have helped out so much, and it's good energy every time we bring a show to town. So we're excited.
It is. All right. Well, thank you, Heath, and thank you everyone that was listening and watching today. Hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. I also want to thank our sponsor, the Shed Kings. They're a great sponsor here of our Community Spotlight program. So now a message from them, then an update from the National Weather Service, and then back to the music with some Steely Dan, Deep Purple, Tears for Fears, and more. You guys take care. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
The KRIM Community Spotlight program is sponsored.
The Shed Kings, offering 2 convenient locations in Star Valley and Overgard, Arizona.
Hey there, I'm Curtis. And I'm Anthony. And we're the Shed Kings, home of the rent-to-own, no-credit check program.
We offer barns, sheds, garages, cabins, and steel buildings, all built to last. Proudly representing Graceland Portable Buildings, industry leaders for over 20 years. Need something larger? We also represent American Steel Buildings for unmatched durability and the best warranties in the business. Quality matters. If there was a better constructed building on the market, we would be selling it.
Shed Kings made it so easy, but quality's unbeatable. I loved it so much.
I joined the team.
Enjoy enhanced floor and wall durability, optimized fasteners, and budget-friendly options. Choose from a wide variety of styles and colors to fit your needs. Graceland Portable Buildings has the highest customer quality ratings year after year.
So come see us in person and experience the Shed Kings difference, because we have the shed you've been looking for. If not, we can build it. Call or visit us to get started.